Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a vaguely vlog-ish type audio recording. Basically, I'm currently making my new show, State of the Game. Going to try and make it in like 2 or 3 minute component pieces, but I thought just for funsies I'd turn the microphone on, try and kill two birds with one stone by also recording. Sorry, I'm just having a look at the World of Warcraft female Pandaren bear thing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd turn the microphone on and kill two birds with one stone by recording my vlog at the same time. Yeah. Ollie is not a happy Ollie at the moment. Ollie is an angry Ollie. Ollie is an angry Ollie because I cocked up my Bastion playthrough the other day. Yeah, as I said, what was it, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. As I said on Saturday, I tried to. Well, I was going to record I was going to record a Bastion playthrough, which I did. I did about, what was it, 4 o'clock in the morning. Started at 8, so that's 8 hours. I recorded 8 hours worth of Bastion on Saturday. Then when I went. Was it Saturday or was it Sunday? Over the weekend I recorded 8 hours worth of Bastion, and yeah, when I went to look at it later on, tried to put it together into like a complete thing, so I could. Well, I want to do like 15-minute episodes, or like each level I would post. Well, each level takes about 10 to 20 minutes to do, I think. So I was going to like post each level in parts, so I could do like 30, 40 odd parts, like one a day every weekend, every weekday even. But yeah, when I went to put it together, I imported it all into Sony Vegas, put it into the timeline, and part 1 skipped straight over to part. Well, I watched it from part 1 into part 2. Yeah, the way start again. The way Fraps works is that it records each chunk. Yeah, it records like 2 or 3 minute chunks. So when you go into the folder, wherever you happen to save it, it winds up being like 20 odd chunks. So I imported all of that into Sony Vegas, transferred all that into the timeline, and started to watch it. The first 2 or 3 minutes, fine. Then it skipped a couple of hours worth of gameplay. And I thought it must have been an issue with Sony Vegas, so I went and had a look through the folders and things, and noticed that there was a great disparity between the timeline markers on part 1 to part 2. Went into the folder, checked the timestamp on each of the different parts, and found that I was missing the first 2 hours. And then I remembered what happened, because I was using an Xbox controller plugin, so I could use my Cytec controller, due to an issue that Bastion was never programmed to use direct input, so it's only compatible with the Xbox PC controller. So if you want to use a different one, such as Cytec or whatever brand other than Xbox, you've got to use this plugin that somebody made and distributed on the programming code freely distributable website thingy called SourceForge. So I downloaded that. Yeah, so when I started trying to play the game, I downloaded that and installed it, and it makes the game minimize every now and again, and then when you try to restore it, it then crashes. So I played it for 2 or 3 minutes. Then when I actually like started to get into the game, got just like halfway through the first level, then the program crashed, and when it restarted, I forgot to hit the fucking Fraps record button, which is F9. Played 2 hours of the game, took a break, came back, hit F9, carried on. Didn't notice I was missing the first 2 hours of the gameplay, so I played it for a total of 8 hours that night, got to 4 o'clock in the morning and thought, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this in one sitting, and went to bed. So I wake up the following day and tried to, as I just said, put it into Sony Vegas and realise that I'm missing the beginning of the game. And because there's only one save file in Bastion, it auto saves, which is a great convenience every time that you go from one area to the next. Fine, but when you start a new game, it erases whatever save file you've got in there. There isn't multiple save files. So, yeah, I kind of wasted 8 hours of my life playing that game, which is really, really fucking annoying because it was so good. I enjoyed the game tremendously. I mean, it's a fantastic game. You should really, really play it. I've got an incredibly unusual thing happened in that I've got absolutely no negative opinions of that game whatsoever. There is not a single thing wrong with the gameplay. It is just a joy to play continuously. The difficulty settings, they've got like these god idols that you can activate, and it makes the game harder. And whenever I got one, I just turned it straight on, and it got really, really difficult, and it was so much fun. Just to the challenge of the game, the enemies and the music and the narration and everything about it. It's just it's just so good. But yeah, and what's the two things that really wrangle me, that really just make me so pissed off about the entire thing, is that after the first hour or so, well, no, not even that, when I started to play the game, I kept on falling off the edges of the levels, and then you know, you'd fall off and then you'd fly through the sky and you smack into the floor again, you lose a little bit of health. And like all my first impressions of the game, the times that I kept on repeatedly falling off the edges initially, and then I got used to it, and discovering all the different weapons in the game. And the birds, oh, don't get me started on the birds. I mean, literally, they got like these bonus levels where you smoke a pipe and you go into this it's like an arena mode where you're trapped in there for like 15 to 20 waves of enemies that you've recently gone up against in a certain portion of the game. I've only played the first 8 hours, obviously, and there's two sections of the game that you're presented with. The first one is like a bunch of what they call them, squirts, like blobby. I want to call them inky enemies. Like they appear to be like made of ink in the shape of like a blob, a comma. They're in like a comma shape. And then in the second part of the game, you're up against plants. Yeah, plants. And what the hell was I saying? In the arena mode, the first arena is filled with like the first section of the game's enemies, which are the squiddy plant things. And then in the second arena mode, you're up against the second tier enemies and all the plants and things. And along with the plants, you've also got these they're basically intelligent birds, but one of their variations is that they swarm you. Just like a whole flock of the bloody things come along and try and peck your eyeballs out, and they were a bloody nightmare because I just couldn't figure out a way to kill them efficiently or defend myself. I just ended up suffering. Like 2/3 of my health would go within the first few seconds because I got the difficulty on so high, and I couldn't defend myself against them or kill them quick enough. So yeah, I go into this arena mode and I was like going, not the birds, please, not the birds, not the birds, not the birds. Oh god, it's the birds, it's the birds, it's the birds. And it was brilliant. The entire playthrough was just brilliant. I was coming up with jokes. I was doing a really high English accent describing all the items in the game, and it was just so much fun. But yeah, all of that audio, all of like there's 6 hours worth of gold, and because the first 2 are missing, I've now got to restart the game, do it all over again. And I would like to say, well, my general ethos when something like this happens is that okay, so I've lost the first go that I had. I've lost the first go that I made of doing this, but now I can do the second one even better than I made the first. Which, when you're building a game, when you're writing something, or when you're trying to create digital artifacts, that's great, that's fine, because you've learned a lot by doing it once, now you can do it again. But when you're recording gameplay footage or trying to cast something, you can't get the same first impressions, because it's not first impressions. You know what that weapon is going to do, you know what the enemies are like, you now have practice at fighting those individuals. But yeah, now that's all gone. Poof. Vanish, never to return. I know exactly what I'm doing in the game now, and it's not as good. It's not going to be as good, which is it's a right bloody shame, because it was so awesome. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing it all over again, because, you know, second time through, I'm even better at it now, and I know what I'm doing, and I can try a different layout of the weapons, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's not the first impression anymore, and it's not going to be as good. I'm still going to do it because, yeah, and also wasted my time. I wasted 8 hours of my life trying to do this thing, and now I don't have it anymore, and that's bloody annoying. And the other point that makes me really just absolutely fucking livid with myself is that all the way through that playthrough, I kept on saying to myself and thinking, have you hit F9 yet? You hit F9? Is F9 on? Fraps is going, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely going, isn't it? Right, okay. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to minimize it, and that will crash the game because of the Xbox plugin thing. And I'm going to make sure that Fraps is turned on, because I don't want to end up playing the game and then losing a whole bunch of footage. So I'd literally be crashing the game just to make sure Fraps is on. And because of a mistake I made at the very beginning. I mean, if it had happened, say, say like it happened at hour 6 and I lost like the last 2 hours of footage, I might have thought, okay, well, I've got all the rest, I'll just have to say, right, sorry ladies and gentlemen, I missed out a couple of hours, my bad, I forgot to hit F9, fine. But you can't cut out the first 2 hours, that would just be stupid. So, yeah, so now I've got to replay it all over again. I'm sure I'll enjoy it very much, and obviously I can use all the jokes and things, but none of it's going to be first impressions anymore. And I've got to redo it all over again. So it's like I've got to spend an entire day making this content over again. It's just, just did not want to do that at all. Yeah, that's about it for today, I think. About 13 minutes worth of me talking. Yeah, it's a little bit incoherent, because I'm just doing this in one take. I'm not going to edit it or anything, because it occurred to me the other day that the way you get good at doing live casting is practice. I mean, it sounds like a simple thing, but I kept on like trying. I spent like hours trying to edit like the Mass Effect 3. Yeah, the Mass Effect 3 video that took me several days to put together, because I kept on trying to edit it. I kept on trying to, you know, go through the audio files with a fine-tooth comb and take out all the bits I pronounced wrong or didn't enunciate properly or whatever. But no, that's silly. You should practice doing it live, because then eventually you'll just get good at turning on the audio equipment and just doing it in one take, or at least producing something that you can use in one take anyway. But yeah, I'm off to making my news VODs, and then I think it'll have to be tomorrow now. I'm going to redo Bastion. I'll post again another vlog on what day is it today? It's Tuesday, isn't it? I might do another one tomorrow, because I want to try and set this up so I'm doing like one on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and it's currently Tuesday, and the last one I posted was like Saturday or something, because I was like just so unbelievably tired. After my Bastion playthrough, that's something else. After my Bastion playthrough, I went to bed at like what was it, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 in the morning, and I got about 3 hours sleep. So on Monday I was just completely zombified and was not in a fit state to produce more VODs. But no, I got a good night's sleep last night, so Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a good day. If you happen to still be watching, please hit the like button down below. I don't see why you'd want to subscribe. I don't see why you'd want to subscribe to my channel at the moment, seeing as there's barely anything here to watch. You don't know what sort of content I'm going to be providing, but if you are so inclined, please do. And yeah, I'll try to get something together to post today and tomorrow. Yeah, just try and keep on producing the news show and that. Thank you very much for listening. Yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.